Good morning/afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. I am Deepika Nalabelli, a research scholar from Kakatiya University. I'm excited to share with you our work on creating inclusive algorithms for equitable artificial intelligence. Our focus today is on gender-sensitive AI, exploring how we can develop smarter, fairer systems that recognize and respect gender diversity. We'll be discussing the importance of gender-sensitive approaches and the impact they can have on AI development. So, let's get started and see how we can make AI more inclusive for everyone. Let's take a closer look at what gender-sensitive AI really means and why it's so important. This slide highlights how AI can be used across various sectors like media, finance, employment, and healthcare to promote fairness and inclusivity. For example, in media, AI can analyze content to ensure diverse gender representation. In finance, it helps create inclusive lending and investment algorithms. When it comes to employment, AI tools can assist in recruitment processes to prevent gender bias. And in healthcare, diagnosis tools can account for gender differences to improve accuracy. The key idea here is that building these systems to be more accurate and trustworthy benefits everyone. It ensures fair treatment for all genders and helps prevent the reinforcement of harmful stereotypes that can perpetuate inequality. So why does this matter? Because designing AI systems that recognize, understand, and address gender-related biases is essential. It's about making our technology fairer, more balanced, and more reliable, ultimately building systems that serve everyone equally. On this slide, we're focusing on the importance of gender-sensitive AI and how it can truly promote broader societal equality. Essentially, by identifying and addressing gender-based disparities across different sectors, these systems help create a fairer society. When AI models account for gender differences and actively avoid biases, they not only become more accurate, but also foster greater trust among users. This trust is crucial because technology should serve everyone fairly. Gender-sensitive AI also ensures fair treatment and inclusion of all gender identities, making our technology more representative and equitable. This is especially important because traditional AI systems often unintentionally reinforce harmful stereotypes and biases. By recognizing and addressing these issues, gender-sensitive AI helps prevent the perpetuation of stereotypes that can be damaging. Ultimately, these systems are designed to understand and tackle gender-related biases embedded in algorithms, data, and applications. This is a vital step toward creating technology that is truly equitable and serves all users fairly. This aligns perfectly with our overall theme of promoting fairness and inclusivity through responsible AI development. Now, let's look at some of the key strategies we're using to advance gender-sensitive AI. First, continuous monitoring is essential. We need to keep an eye on our systems over time to measure their impact and effectiveness. This helps us understand whether our interventions are actually promoting fairness. Next, assessing impact is crucial. We want to evaluate how our AI systems influence gender equity and ensure that they are working as intended. To support this, we follow inclusive design principles and adhere to ethical guidelines. These help us create comprehensive frameworks for designing and implementing AI that is sensitive to gender differences. Developing these frameworks involves careful algorithmic analysis. We analyze AI algorithms to detect potential gender biases in datasets, in the training process, and in the outcomes the systems produce. Finally, our overarching goal with this study is to push forward the development of gender-sensitive AI. By focusing on these objectives, we aim to make AI systems fairer, more inclusive, and more aligned with ethical standards. Let's dive into some of the core aspects of our content analysis in this seminar. We'll start by looking at how media influences perceptions of AI, especially regarding gender sensitivity. Bias in algorithms is a critical issue. These systems often reflect societal biases, which can lead to unfair outcomes. When it comes to recruitment, AI tools are increasingly used, but if not carefully designed, they can perpetuate gender stereotypes. Similarly, in healthcare, Diagnosis tools powered by AI must be scrutinized for bias to ensure equitable treatment. We'll explore some real-world case studies that illustrate these challenges and successes. Representation analysis helps us understand how different genders are portrayed or underrepresented in datasets and media. That leads us to the importance of training data. It's the foundation of any AI system. Dataset analysis allows us to identify and mitigate biases early on. We also gather insights from developers and stakeholders through feedback, surveys, and interviews. These perspectives are vital for understanding practical issues and areas for improvement. Our research draws on a wide range of sources, from books and academic papers to literature reviews, ensuring a comprehensive approach. Lastly, our mixed methods approach combines quantitative data with qualitative insights, providing a well-rounded view of gender-sensitive AI. This methodology helps us address the complex, nuanced nature of bias and representation, aligning with our overall goal of developing fairer, more inclusive AI systems. Now, let's take a closer look at the core areas we need to focus on for gender-sensitive AI. First, we have representation analysis, which is about understanding how different genders are portrayed across various sectors. For example, in media, it's crucial to ensure diverse and accurate representation. In finance, promoting equal lending opportunities helps combat financial bias. And in healthcare, developing inclusive diagnostic tools ensures everyone receives proper care. Moving on to cross-sector applications, designing inclusive user interfaces and implementing fairness-aware algorithms are key steps. These help create AI systems that are accessible and fair across different contexts. Building diverse training datasets is fundamental here, as it provides the foundation for unbiased AI. Next, we have inclusive development, which involves establishing accountability mechanisms and creating assessment frameworks. These help us monitor and improve our AI systems continually. Developing gender-inclusive AI principles guides ethical decision-making throughout the process. In terms of ethical guidelines, we need to examine model outputs for bias patterns and analyze how training data is represented. Identifying gender bias in AI algorithms early on is essential to prevent perpetuating stereotypes or unfair treatment. Finally, bias detection is about understanding the scope of our study, how comprehensive it is, and actively working to uncover biases at every stage. All these points connect back to our overarching goal, building AI that is fair, ethical, and inclusive for everyone. Let's take a closer look at how gender bias can unintentionally creep into AI systems. Developers, often without realizing it, embed their own unconscious biases into these systems through the choices they make during design, the features they prioritize, and how they frame the problems they're trying to solve. These biases then become hard-coded into the algorithms, which can lead to unfair or skewed outcomes. Another important point is the role of underrepresentation. When certain genders are less represented in the development teams or datasets, it creates blind spots. Without diverse perspectives, some experiences and needs of different genders are overlooked or misunderstood, which can reinforce existing inequalities. Societal stereotypes also play a big part. AI models learn from the data they're trained on texts, images, and human interactions. If society holds stereotypes about gender, these biases get captured by the AI, and worse, they get reinforced during training. And speaking of training data, if it reflects historical disparities or stereotypes, like excluding certain genders or misrepresenting them, the AI ends up biased. It's essentially learning from a skewed version of reality, which impacts its ability to understand and fairly represent all genders. All these factors, unconscious developer biases, underrepresentation, societal stereotypes, and biased training data, combine to make AI systems inherit and even amplify biases. Recognizing this is crucial if we want to build AI that's fair, inclusive, and truly serves everyone. Let's take a closer look at some of the critical issues surrounding gender-sensitive AI. One major concern is the erosion of trust in AI technologies. When systems are biased or unfair, it becomes harder for users to rely on them confidently. Alongside that, there are significant accountability gaps, meaning it's often unclear who is responsible when an AI causes harm or makes unfair decisions. This ties directly into risks related to fairness and transparency. If AI systems lack clarity about how they make decisions, it's difficult to ensure they're treating everyone equitably. These ethical challenges also have tangible impacts in our workplaces. For example, automation can unintentionally reinforce gender gaps, such as biases in hiring or promotion processes. Similarly, in financial services, AI-driven lending decisions may inadvertently discriminate based on gender, leading to unequal opportunities. Moving beyond the workplace, AI's influence extends into cultural realms. Stereotyping gender roles across different cultures can deepen misunderstandings and reinforce traditional stereotypes. This can erode cultural understanding of gender and contribute to misrepresenting gender identities, which is especially problematic in a diverse society. Furthermore, there's a risk of excluding diverse gender experiences, which means certain voices and identities may not be adequately represented or acknowledged. This perpetuates harmful assumptions and stereotypes, making it harder for society to embrace genuine gender diversity. Finally, all these issues have profound social impacts. Gender bias in AI doesn't just affect individual opportunities, it shapes societal perceptions and reinforces stereotypes that can be deeply ingrained. Recognizing and addressing these challenges is essential to creating AI systems that are fair, respectful, and truly inclusive. Now, let's explore some key approaches to developing gender-sensitive AI. First, stakeholder consultation is essential. Engaging diverse voices helps us identify potential biases early on. Having diversity in development teams also brings different perspectives, which is crucial for creating fairer systems. Regular auditing of these systems ensures we're catching biases as they emerge over time. When it comes to organizational measures, decision documentation and model interpretability tools help us understand how our AI makes decisions. Explainable AI techniques make these processes transparent, fostering trust and accountability. On the technical side, transparency and accountability are fundamental. We can use post-processing methods like calibration to refine outputs, or in-processing techniques such as adversarial learning to reduce bias during training. Pre-processing steps, like data debiasing, help ensure the data we feed our models is as fair as possible. Speaking of bias mitigation, feature importance auditing and disparate impact analysis are critical for identifying where biases might exist and measuring their impact. Bias detection tools and gender-balanced annotations help us create datasets that better reflect different gender identities and expressions. Using diverse datasets and representative sampling ensures our training data captures the full spectrum of gender diversity. Regularization methods and constrained optimization techniques are algorithmic approaches that incorporate gender considerations directly into the training process. Fairness-aware algorithms help us design models that are inherently more equitable. In summary, these techniques, from organizational policies to technical methods, are all aimed at reducing bias and developing AI systems that are truly gender-sensitive. They're all interconnected steps toward creating fairer, more inclusive AI. Now, let's explore how gender-sensitive AI is making a real difference across various fields. First, in natural language processing, AI systems are being trained to understand and respond appropriately to users of all genders. This helps reduce bias in voice assistants and chatbots, making interactions more inclusive. Moving on to inclusive virtual assistants, these systems are capable of detecting stereotypical language patterns. By identifying and mitigating gender stereotypes in media content, they promote balanced and fair representation of different gender identities within algorithms. In the realm of media content analysis, AI tools are now evaluating media more objectively, ensuring that candidate skills are assessed equally, regardless of gender. This reduces biases in hearing processes and supports fairer opportunities for everyone. In healthcare, AI systems are improving the detection of gender-specific conditions. They take into account differences in symptoms and responses, which leads to more accurate diagnoses for conditions that may present differently across genders. Finally, all these applications demonstrate how AI can be harnessed to foster greater equality and fairness, aligning with our overall goal of creating more inclusive technology that benefits everyone. Now, moving on to slide 11, let's discuss some of the challenges and limitations we face with gender-sensitive AI. Addressing multiple overlapping identities and forms of discrimination in AI systems remains a complex challenge. It's not just about gender in isolation, but understanding how various identities intersect and influence AI outcomes. To develop truly gender-sensitive AI, we need to build international consensus that considers diverse cultural, legal, and social contexts. This is essential because what works in one region might not be appropriate or effective in another. Another important point is the environmental impact. Training AI models requires a lot of computational power, which raises concerns about the carbon footprint of developing gender-inclusive AI. So, we need to balance progress with sustainability. We also face ethical and regulatory gaps. There's a lack of comprehensive frameworks and oversight to guide responsible development and deployment of gender-sensitive AI. This can lead to unintended consequences or misuse. Data privacy is another critical issue. Protecting sensitive gender-related data while ensuring datasets are representative is a tricky balance to strike. And then, there's the digital divide. Access to AI technologies and digital literacy skills varies widely across genders and regions, which can deepen disparities rather than bridge them. All of these factors highlight that tackling these challenges requires careful, coordinated efforts across multiple domains. As we look ahead, creating gender-sensitive AI is an ongoing journey that requires commitment from everyone involved: researchers, developers, policymakers, and users alike. It's about developing systems that truly reflect and respect the rich diversity of human experiences. Moving forward, continuous monitoring and innovation are essential. Technology evolves rapidly, and so do the challenges we face. Keeping an eye on these developments allows us to adapt and ensure that AI remains fair and equitable over time. Collaboration is also key. When government, industry, and academia work together, we can create more effective and inclusive AI systems. This teamwork helps us share insights, set standards, and implement solutions that benefit everyone. At its core, gender-sensitive AI is about creating ethical, inclusive, and equitable technology. It's designed to prevent biases, promote fairness, and ensure that all genders are treated with respect and dignity. So, to sum up the key takeaways, this is a shared responsibility. Building gender-sensitive AI isn't a one-time effort. It's an ongoing process that demands dedication, innovation, and collaboration. Together, we can develop AI systems that truly serve all of humanity, aligning with our broader goal of creating technology that is fair, just, and inclusive for everyone. As we come to the final slide, I want to emphasize that gender-sensitive AI is much more than just a technical challenge. It's a social imperative. Creating AI systems that are fair and equitable requires ongoing investment in education and training focused on gender issues. We also need to develop global standards and frameworks that guide us in designing more inclusive AI. Collaboration is key, so fostering partnerships between government, industry, and academia can really drive meaningful change. On the organizational level, regularly auditing AI systems for gender bias helps us catch issues early, and establishing ethics boards with gender experts ensures that we have diverse perspectives during project reviews. Building diverse development teams is also crucial to prevent groupthink and bias from taking hold. From a technical standpoint, Implementing transparent accountability mechanisms, like explainable AI, allows us to better understand how decisions are made. Collecting diverse datasets that reflect various gender perspectives helps us train fairer models. And developing algorithms that can detect and actively mitigate bias ensures our AI systems serve everyone more equitably. Altogether, these strategies, collaborative, organizational, and technical, are essential steps toward creating AI that truly promotes fairness and inclusion for all genders.